Hey everyone, this is Adrian over at Dynomite Diesel. We're just going to step through some of the procedures here that we have with our testing for you. First step we always start off with is going through your information that you send us. It's imperative that we have all the information here because to correctly diagnose it and or find issues, we need to know what they are, what's going on, and when they occur and such, because that'll give us an indication of where to look inside the injectors and or the situations. So imperative we get that filled out. This may be a little information, but we want the whole sheet. We want to have mileage, we want to have injectors, we want to have issues, when it happens, etc. So make sure you get that to us so we can correctly diagnose that for you. All right, guys, here the next step we're going to start up with is the visual inspection here. Once we've looked over your information, read through everything, we have a good idea of what's going on. We're going to take your injectors, we're going to do a visual inspection on them. What this is going to do for us is indicate or let us know if there's any other issues that we're finding and or may have happened in shipping and or packaging issues. As you can see here, we do have the couple that are broken. This was done during shipping and such, so this is why we stress that we want them wrapped up back in that bubble wrap, correctly packaged, not just bouncing around. You can see when they bounce around, they fly through the paper, they'll go through the box, and they destroy the parts. So make sure you send those in to us correctly, so that way there'll be less for us to work on. Hey, how's it going there, everybody? Next step in our procedure, we're going to take the injectors out here. We're going to sonic clean them for about 20 to 30 minutes or so. What this does is it takes off any of the dirt, oil, debris, anything that hinders us from seeing all the issues and or little bits and stuff inside on the injectors. So we're going to take all 8 of them, get them stacked in our racks here. And we'll, like I said, we're going to cook them probably about 150, 200 degrees or so for about 20 to 30 minutes. That makes sure that we have every bit of debris and oil off of these guys. So let's get these going. We'll get them cleaned up and we'll see what's going on with them. Okay guys, now that once we got those sonic cleaned, we're gonna go ahead and rinse them out. Give them a brake clean bath here. Make sure everything's cleaned out, all liquids blown out. That way we can see everything inside. Nothing will be hidden from us. All right, let's move on to visual inspection again. We're going to go ahead and set them up with our fixture here so that we can begin the disassembly. With the disassembly, we're going to be able to inspect both the nozzles, control valves, armatures, control rod, the whole 9 yards. So let's start up with that. And once we got the nozzle off, we're going to go ahead and jump into the upper portions. As you can see, once we've removed the solenoid, it's going to give us the ability to inspect both the inside of the solenoid as well as the armature. And once we've removed the armature, we can actually visually inspect with the Borescope our control valves as well, which is a very, very vital part of the injector there. It's what controls the sealing portion up top. So, okay, as you can see here, we've removed all the nozzles, nozzle nuts. It's going to give this the ability to not only visually inspect the upper portions up here, make sure there's no debris, no rust, nothing's going to cause any issues for us. We'll go ahead and remove all the panels, get ready to go over to the Borescope and do some visual inspections with a little magnification this time. So let's head on over there. Okay, now that we've got all the nozzles off, we've got the bodies disassembled. We're going to show you with just one of the bodies here rather than the whole set, but let's go ahead and walk our way through what we do on our visuals here. So luckily with the Borescope, we're going to be able to actually visually inspect the inside of the nozzles here. Okay, now as you can see right here, this is a very common picture that you're going to see inside of our testing. What we're usually looking for is to make sure this pintle seat right here is nice and clean. It doesn't have any of these little scars or marks, because those little scars and marks are what cause leaks, what cause your white smoke and your startup issues there as well. So that's what we're really searching for, is to make sure there's nothing down below that may be holding the pintle up. Which we can see, this is nice and clear right here. There's no chips, no rust, no debris, nothing that seems to appear to be holding the pintle up. So we have that portion checked out. As we slide back out, we'll go ahead and inspect the pintle seat. And as you can see right there, right off the bat, we have an issue on this pintle seat. It appears that there's been a piece of metal and or large debris or something that the pintle has actually smashed into this pintle seat, which has caused damage to this, deforming it, which is going to cause a leak because the pintle can no longer seal in there. So this is why we use the Borescope, is we can find those little tiny issues like that and actually diagnose it and get your stuff fixed. So that's what we're talking about when we have little issues on those pintle seats. So let's start off with the control valve here. This is inside the LB7. What we're going to show you is this real small seat that's inside the control valve that the control ball actually sets onto, that is the other critical sealing point of the injector. So this is one of the main things we are going to be inspecting every time you bring injectors in. So let's go ahead and go down through the control valve. Okay, now as you can see, once again, similar to the nozzles, we're looking for any chips, deformation, little bits of rust or anything else that's going to cause that ball to not seat correctly. Because if it doesn't seat correctly, we're going to have things such as white smoke at startup, we're going to have a little bit of pressure loss, may have a hard start, it can be quite a few different issues. So this is a vital portion that we will be inspecting with everyone. Okay, now that we've done the visual inspection, let's go ahead and check out the solenoids, make sure all the resistance is correct on those. That way we know we have 100% working solenoid. So what we're going to do is take our Mac multimeter there, test in, we want about a 0.3 ohm. Perfect, that's right there. So, yep, holding right there, 0.2, 0.3. So that guy's good. As you can see, we're going to go through all of the solenoids there. And then we're looking for 0.2 to 0.3, so we got them right there. Awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Okay guys, now that we've done our visual inspection, we've checked the solenoid for resistance, we've checked on the Borescope to make sure there's no contamination, any rust or anything like that inside the bodies that'll contaminate either our machine or your vehicle when you do get these back. We want to make sure that doesn't happen. So once we've met that criteria, we're going to make sure everything's clean enough. We're going to set them up. We can set them up in our test stands right here. We're going to calibrate them through Bosch standard specific calibration points. Make sure everything meets it with our test stand here. Make sure it's working 100%. That way when you get an injector back, you know it's going to work from us. So let's check this out.